This lesson is about using the font tag to change the font of text in a document. The font tag is an inline level tag. So it's important to note that you can use it inside a paragraph. It is not proper to use it outside a paragraph and have a paragraph contained in it. It's common and it works, but it's not correct XHTML. So let's take a look at how this works. Here we have a paragraph, and there's the paragraph in the browser down there. And let's say that I want to change the font of the text in the paragraph. So I use a font tag here, and I say font face equals, and I can say Arial, which is a sans serif font that's available in Microsoft Windows and other operating systems. Close the font tag here. Now you'll notice that the font tag is after the P, and the close font tag is before the close P. So that makes the font tag inside of the paragraph. You will see other arrangements which are not correct. Sometimes even you'll see the tag straddling the paragraph like this, where you've got the beginning of the paragraph outside of the font and the end of the paragraph inside of the font. That is not correct, and don't do that. So here we have the font tag done correctly, and I'm going to save it, and we'll reload in the browser, and we'll see that we now have this lovely sans serif Arial font. So there's some other interesting things that you should know about the font face argument. And one is that you can say sans serif like this. And then whatever is the default sans serif font in the user's browser is the one that will be used. And this is very, very valuable. So I save it and go ahead and reload in the browser. You see that we still have the Arial font, and that's because Arial is the default sans serif font in the Microsoft Windows operating system. And so that is the font that comes up. If the font is something different in the user's operating system, it'll use that one. The value of this is that not everybody's computer has the Arial font, or not everybody's computer has Helvetica or something else, or maybe it's not called something quite spelled the way that it's spelled on your computer. And so if you want a sans serif font in your document, if you use sans serif instead of specifying Arial, it'll come up sans serif in all of the places where there is a sans serif font available in that browser, even if it's named something different than it is in your computer. So this is a very valuable shorthand. In addition to sans serif, you can say serif, and you'll always get a serif font. Save that and reload. And the default serif font is probably Times Roman on this computer here. Or you can say monospace, like this, and you'll get whatever the default monospace font is, which in this case I believe is Courier New in the Microsoft Windows operating system. Another thing that's useful to note is that you can specify several fonts. You can say Verdana, or Helvetica, or sans serif, like that. And I'll go ahead and save that. And what this will do is it'll use Verdana if it's available. And if it's not available, it'll use Helvetica. If neither of those are available, it'll use whatever sans serif font is available. So this way you can specify the one that you like and still have it default to something that is reasonable for your document. I'll go ahead and reload this, and you'll see we have Verdana available on this computer. If I misspell Verdana, then we'll get the second one in the list here. I use this technique for testing my lists, just to make sure I get what I expect. So I'll go ahead and save this and reload. And now we get Helvetica. And if I misspell Helvetica there and save that, we'll get the default sans serif, which probably looks very similar. It would be the Arial font. So I believe on Microsoft Windows, Helvetica is an alias for Arial, so we get exactly the same thing there. So this is how the font face tag works. You can use it to specify the fonts that you want used to display your document. You can give it a list of fonts, and it's always a good idea to end the list with the default value for the type of a font that you want, so that if none of the ones you've specified are available, you'll at least get a serif font or a sans serif font, however it is that you want it to be in your document. And keep in mind that not everybody has their browser set up to default to a serif font. So if you really care about your document being displayed in a serif font, go ahead and specify it in a font face tag.